I want to quickly go back. Music videos.
Okay.
Like, would you like to do more of that work, like moving forward in future?
I do a lot as it is. A
man said I do a lot as it
no,
is.
but I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm always happy to do them. I think
Yeah.
they're normally a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They can be crazy scenes. And,
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, and it's as I say, it's great to work with the bands, the artists, because I was I had a band myself. I love to still mix with these people, even though I don't get a chance to in my working life. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a parent, just a random question as well. As a parent, all of us obviously we want the best for our kids, right? But just in general, again on a random one, yeah. What's that one thing that you would like, for your kids, to basically do by the time they get into adulthood or whatever?
Well,
if you get what I'm trying to say,
well,
what's that one thing you would like?
Mine are
your kids
all
to get into?
kind of grown up now anyway.
Yeah.
I don't have any small kids.
Okay.
Yeah. But to be happy.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. It's for them to find happiness in whatever they're doing. And I'm lucky in that all my children, 4 children, are really nice people.
Big up all of your kids.
Yeah. And
big them up.
I'm proud of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And even like another random as well before we go back to acting as well, yeah. Like like I'm from a very very big family where obviously that sometimes you look up to certain people, like your uncles, your fathers, all of these things, and I'm from a family of like I'm gonna be brutally honest, a family of cheaters.
Really?
Yeah, a family. Again, this is nothing, whatever. A lot of men cheat, whatever. But again, just like on a random one, like, do you think, because certain men, obviously, once again, try to, go through life to, saying that, it's part of a man's nature to, to be with more than one woman, all of these things. Like, just in general, as a man, because obviously you're a man and you've got the right to have your opinion, right? What are your thoughts on, all of, like, that section of men who basically think, no, you cannot be, like, a man shouldn't be with one woman, like, it's a man's right to be with more than one woman.
Well, I think for a start, it's not just men. Some
women
actually
in general
do think the same.
Yeah.
It depends what you're out for. If you're in a relationship and you're happy, then it's why would you want to go anywhere else? It's but. Yeah, I mean, I've come across all sorts of people who maybe they don't really want to be in a relationship. Maybe they just want to take the best that they can from each person that they're with. I don't know.
Yeah. And also I feel like a lot of us men, maybe speaking for myself, when I was when I was a bit younger, like playing around with different women, it's like I used to want my cake and eat it too. So basically, I used to mentally, spiritually, I wasn't ready. I had no business being in relationships because my nature, I always knew I was always gonna cheat. But at the same time, it's like I had this thing where it's like I wanted, I thought the thought of, the thought about being in a relationship, having a woman there, I liked it, but I wasn't really ready for it, if you get what I say. That's what I said.
Yeah,
it's like wanting your cake and eat it too, but it's like, is that what you really want?
I think it's an immaturity.
Yes,
and
that's one thing I realised.
Although, as I say, everyone's different. Some people are happy doing that. Some people don't want a relationship.
Yeah.
In which case, don't promise one.
It's true.
Make your intentions clear from the start.
Yeah. And do you feel like we live in a world where people complicate relationships for certain reasons, or it depends on the individual or on the two people? Because I literally, I can even show you guys the conversation. I had this conversation literally earlier today where I feel like, a lot of people use these words from where we come from. It's cold outside, like I need to be financially stable before I can get with this woman or before I can get with this man, etc., etc. And I feel like, I feel like for me, a lot of people just complicate, relationship, because I feel like everybody's situation is different, and everybody's situation with that person they're with is different. You get me? So, and I feel like this is why a lot of people, these days, a lot of people from different backgrounds are single because of this complication about relationships and that. You know?
Yeah, I think people overcomplicate things. People question what they're looking for, or
even
there
that.
has to be a certain type of individual. They have to have a certain job. They have to have this, and what they're missing out on is finding a soulmate.
Bingo.
They're missing out on finding someone randomly, maybe that you can get with, and you think, yeah, you know what, this is so good. This is and then you forget about how much they're earning, or what they've got, or where they've been, what they've done. You forget about all that because you're so with that person.
Yeah, man. And I realize as well, talking about pros and cons, I realize as well, like, these are some of the cons of a lot of people forgetting that there's a real life versus, you know, a lot of people think the real life now is on social media. And I feel like if you keep on watching a lot of these people talking on social media about this is how relationships should be, you should be this as a man, all of these things, I feel like that's why you can get lost as well, because in the real life, like you said, you can go to like a lot of different places in the real life and actually meet down to earth people, you know what I'm trying to say? But on social media, most people, anyway, 9 times out of 10, most people, everybody knows, most people are just trying to basically live a life or to portray a certain
social media has a falseness about it, because no one actually appears on there giving the truth. That they all want to show you
the highlights,
where they are on holiday. They want to show you with their girlfriend or boyfriend that they're having such a good time. They're not going to show you the row they have at 3 a.m. on social media, you know.
Exactly.
So you've got to remember that is a kind of false existence. And it's nice. It's nice that you post good memories, but at the same time, you've got to remember that is not them 24 hours a day. You know? That's not their existence all the time.
Exactly.
So,
absolutely, man. And going back to the movies, you know, like, have you done any action movies before?
I've kind of done a bit of action. I've done a bit of.
How was that like? Fuck, I even feel like just chucking away this camera, man. What's that feeling like? You know, like when you're like the adrenaline, that being on set on an action movie. Fucking hell, man.
Again, it's
sorry, excuse my English.
No, it's like, again, it's.
I'm getting excited.
It's kind of like you've got to remember you are that character, but it's just like any other role. You've got to believe that you're in the army, or you're in the special forces, or you know that. And you know, this is your mission. This is what you got to do. It's
yeah. And for those people, some people obviously want to know how it works. This might sound once again like another silly or just a random question, but I'm sure I've thought about it. A lot of people think about it as well. Like, how does it work? Like, when you say like you land a role, say like cool, you got this role. And obviously you get the dates where this is the time we're going to be filming and this is the time we're going to be finishing, right? So my question is, when do you get paid?
Normally after.
When do you get paid?
It won't be until the
when do you get paid? You get to say.
Payment varies.
Okay,
So rarely you might get paid straight after. Generally, you have to wait about a month.
What?
With certain films, you have to chase, but generally.
Why is that? Because I literally thought like, this must sound a bit crazy. I literally thought, as soon as they say, you got the job, man, and then obviously the dates are confirmed, the shooting confirmed, I literally thought you signed a contract, right, and then you get paid that money, and then let's go to work.
No, doesn't work because it might not happen. I mean, what you could do.
That's what I literally thought.
You could take the money and then something could happen to you. You could break a leg and you can't do the shoot. You know?
But that's why I thought maybe if we signed a contract, at least it would show like if something happened, you have to give the money back.
Generally within a month.
Oh, okay.
And the organisation wouldn't do that.
No, well, there's a lot to come in as well because it's not only the actors they're paying; they're paying for the all the
equipment and
the equipment, locations, all sorts of stuff. So they've got to collect all the bills and then pay everyone. Yeah.
Does people everything that we do? I might make music. Some of my family members, even right now, like they believe I can talk or whatever, but. They don't, at the moment, they don't necessarily watch all of my conversations, right? And I feel like all of us are kind of like that to a certain degree, meaning sometimes, you might do certain things, but some parts of your family might even not be interested in what you're doing whatsoever. So like with you and your acting career, like, how is your family? Like, Like, does your family rate what you do? Do you have certain people in your family who think, you're a fucking good actor? Excuse my French. Yeah, like, how is it with your family and your friends, by the way?
I think I'm quite lucky in that I do get a lot of support from
good.
family and friends.
Love to hear that.
And the same way I try and support fellow actors and friends if they're doing a project.
Yeah.
Trying to give them support. But I appreciate, because I know from my own point of view, that when you're busy, it's very hard to do anything else or focus on anything other than what you're doing. You know, if you've got a big script to learn and you've got 2 weeks to learn it before it starts, you don't really want to be trying to do anything else. Yeah. So I appreciate everyone's got their own lives, everyone's got their own priorities. So I don't expect everyone to be totally into what I'm doing, but it's nice to get support. It's nice for people to say, "Oh, I saw that, really enjoyed it," or "You're doing well. I noticed this, that." Brilliant. And that's all you need. It's nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Have you ever tried to get any of your family, relatives, or your members to help you to prepare for a certain role? Like, for example, you landed a role, but obviously you need to practice for it, and you say, "Yeah, chef, come." And then obviously I help you with your lines. We go back and forth.
Do you know what?
Have you ever done?
I'm quite rare because again, I prefer to work alone.
Okay.
With my lines.
Yeah.
I find that if you read lines with someone, and I have done this before, but if it's someone different to the person who's playing the role, then once you're on set with them, you'll find the timing's different, the inclination's different. So
that's game right there.
It's a weird thing. I just prefer to learn it myself. I imagine how they're going to say it, and then when we get there, often it works out that they do kind of say it the way I think. So.
Yeah. And you know, like some movies, you get people drinking alcohol, smoking, and all of that. How much of that is real?
Well,
are people getting really drunk but acting on top of being drunk? How do people do it?
I'll tell you, because I play a lot of drunks and I play a lot of people who are smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking, they use herbal cigarettes. Not that kind of herb, but So you get.
I was about to say weed. You
use herbal cigarettes, so they're not the same as real cigarettes. But they obviously still burn. They still smell quite horrible. But so they're the ones you use. With alcohol, I most of the time, you would be totally sober and you would have to pretend.
Like you're drunk. Yeah.
Although I did one film once where I had to be given a glass of whiskey, and it was supposed to be a vintage malt, and I was supposed to take this and have a sip and really give an opinion. And the director actually got me the real stuff.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I remember taking the glass. I said, "Is this real?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I've spent a lot of money on this whiskey because I want you to actually appreciate it."
Oh my!
He said, "So I want to see your reaction to the real whiskey," and that was a little unusual. Yeah. But it has happened.
Hey, that is actually hilarious. And that some actors like to make obviously that transition from being an actor and then going behind the camera, right?
Yeah.
Have you thought about that, Mike?
Yeah, I did. I actually did a comedy sketch show, probably 9 years ago now.
Yeah.
I got some actor friends who I knew involved, and I kind of wrote a lot of these scenes. I found the venues, directed, produced, acted in. It was just something that I wanted to do, and you know what? It was so much hassle that I much prefer
being in front of the camera,
just taking the roles. Yeah.
What even?
It's a lot of hard work.
What even like in future, like you?
Maybe. I mean, I've directed plays. I've done this little comedy sketch show. It's a bit. I think that's on YouTube if anyone wants to have a look at it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work goes into it. It's like, and you don't realise until you do it how much work goes into it. Yeah. So it's something I really like doing, but I'm happy acting.
Yeah. Nah, I completely understand, because I've seen over the years, so many, not so many, but quite a few people, and obviously the time and age that we're living in right now, more people are following that kind of like, that journey of one day I want to go behind the camera, and even shoot something on my own.
I think it's a good idea because you see things from the other side. So I'd recommend at least you do one. You do it once.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, man. Lionel, before I continue with my a few questions, do you have any questions? We all watch movies. I mean,
well, would you do any I would say policing roles, to be an inspector or anything? Because you got Midsummer Murders.
Big up the Bill. That used to be my classic. The Bill used to be amazing.
Well, I've done a lot of police roles, and I did one appeared on TV last year. I was a DCI, but I tend to get a lot of the DCIs, that sort of role. The sort of sort of hard hitting police, a bit like the old Sweeney, the old that kind of thing. And they're a lot of fun. But maybe casting agents do see me as kind of a bit like that sort of character.
For those people who are just basically dipping in their toes into acting, and they're 50-50, they don't know if they should go full throttle into it or maybe say this is not for me. What advice would you have for anyone who's not really committed, but they're like, should I not?
Well, I think the danger is if you're not committed, you're not going to get anywhere. It's the same with anything in life. If you're starting out doing a new sport, if you're, if you want to become a chef, whatever, if you want to become a carpenter, a plumber, go into it 100% and find out all about the job, practice, learn all the skills and go for it. And then if you've been doing it for a while and you're not enjoying it, then maybe that's the time to say no. But at least give it a go. Give it 100%. Yeah.
You got how would you feel? I'm going to ask this question back to front, with a different technique. How would you feel if the UK started getting people from different countries, coming into the UK and taking acting roles from the UK? So American actors from Africa, all over the place, coming into the UK and taking some of the big roles from people who actually live in the UK, and those people coming from different countries landing those roles within the UK.
Well, if they're the best person for the job, then I don't see a problem with that at all.
Because I don't know if you've seen much of it, talking about quite a few people from, a few good actors from the UK, making that transition into America. We've had, I've seen a lot of American, even a few actors, well-known actors, but I've seen quite a lot of American people have a problem with that, saying these UK people, man, come and taking up acting jobs, man.
I just think if you're the right person for the job,
I agree.
Then not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. What's the issue? You know what I mean? If you, like you said, if you're the right person for the job, why not? Because
competition. There's a lot of competition.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I look at it like this: if all three of us in this room, all three of us, if we went for the same role, right, and all of us went through the same process, right, I feel like if one of us gets the role, that was the right man for the role, like you said earlier. So I couldn't really understand why some people in America had an issue with British actors going into the UK, into Hollywood.
It could be a lot of jealousy. It could be a lot of they feel their noses have been put out of joint. I don't know, but no worries.